Good morning. You're watching the morning show here on Arise News. I'm Toyosi Etim Efyon.
And I'm Stephanie Coker at Dirinokun. We've got a great show lined up for you over the next hour, so make sure you sit back, relax, and let's kickstart your day because the morning show begins right now.
Arise Fashion Week has come and gone, but the memory lingers on. The extravagant display of the most captivating fashion designs from around the world came to a sensational end on Monday.
Sadly, it did. The event saw designers showcase their designs on the most beautiful runway ever seen in Africa. Everything was spot on.
Everything. Models.
Yes, models, makeup, lights, music. And should we say models again?
Yes, those models were stunning.
Supermodels.
They were stunning. Well, today we'll be bringing you an array of designs that were unveiled on the runway. And dreams actually do come true. The Dreamcatchers dance group got to meet Naomi Campbell, who was around for Arise Fashion Week. We'll be sharing just how that meeting went with you.
Yes, we will. But before then, we'll catch up on news making headlines across the globe. And Nena and Hugo will be here to tell us what's trending.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to that. Well, it's going to be a great show, and you don't want to miss one moment of it. This is The Morning Show. Welcome back to The Morning Show here on Arise News. Time now to take a look at fashion stories making headlines across the globe.
Yes, Amsale Abera, popular founder and creative director of the bridal and ready-to-wear line Amsale, passed away at the age of 64 on Sunday. Amsale launched her bridal line shortly after shopping for her own wedding dress and found a gap in the market for simple, understated gowns. She launched Amsale as a custom bridal business out of her apartment, and it quickly grew into one of the industry's most recognized brands. Kleinfeld was her first wholesaler in 1991, and in the years since, the Amsale label has expanded to include evening gowns, cocktail dresses, and bridesmaid dresses too. Before she passed, Abera had already chosen a successor. Margot Lafontaine, recently the senior studio director at Vera Wang.
Oh, bless me. So rest in peace.
Yeah, but that's amazing that she's done so much. You know, she was in Kleinfeld in 1991, and Kleinfeld is the bridal store in New York. That is the place where all the newly proposed to women go and shop. So.
Yeah, and she actually saw that, I was going to say that, you know, usually the bridal dresses then were like big and puffy, all of that, but she wanted something understated and she decided to do something about it, which is very good. And she's styled so many people. She styled like Halle Berry, Salma Hayek. All those people have worn her evening gowns at events, and it's just, I mean, it's good to see that she left this
legacy,
empire and legacy behind.
Yeah, and it's good she also chose a successor.
Exactly.
Someone that she felt that could actually handle it.
It's good that there was that plan.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, moving on, Prince Charles and fashion at first glance might seem to be mutually exclusive, but no, they're not. In his first Australian interview in 5 years, the 69-year-old royal's interest in fashion and sustainability was revealed. In his interview with the Australian Financial Review magazine, Prince Charles spoke on sustainable fashion and the move away from synthetic fabric. He gave huge props to the Australian wool industry and talked about how the move away from wool has created an environmental catastrophe. He said, and I quote, "Wool lasts, and as my campaign has demonstrated on many occasions, at the end of its life, it will biodegrade and enrich the soil in which it is buried." And I love that he's pushing for that, because synthetic fabric has been linked to different kinds of cancer. I know a lot of things cause cancer, but synthetic fabric, because of all the chemicals, they can be so toxic sometimes. So they've been linked to cancer. So fabrics like wool and linen and cotton and yeah, I can't remember those three right now.
No, but it's great to really see that
the natural fabrics
actually into something.
Yeah.
Because every time you talk about Prince Charles, it's always around the boys or around the monarchy or his wife. Yes.
His marriage is.
But
that
interesting love affair.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great that he's actually talking about fashion, and he's talking about fashion in terms of the environment as well. So that's really nice.
Exactly.
Well, best-selling author, fashion enthusiast, and natural hair prominent Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is the cover star for TW's magazine's April 2018 issue. Donned in a green chiffon top from Tiffany Amber's latest collection, the author talked about her family, sisterhood, and true feminism. On writing, she said, "My writing advice is read, and read." Oh, read and read. You don't have to like what I say, or you don't have to like what you're reading, but it demystifies writing. She continued, "Write just right. Start and read as much as you can. Read widely and read different things. And sometimes, while you're immersed in the multitude voices of others, you just might find your own." On writer's block, she said, "If you are finding the writing process tough, take a break and eat some chocolate." Chimamanda is also the latest cover star for Port magazine. And drumroll, yes, she is the first woman ever to appear on the cover of Port, which was launched in 2011 as a magazine for men. In the issue, she talks about her extraordinary books and the complexity of recent gender movements.
Chimamanda is winning. She wants
us
winning.
to read.
Exactly,
Oh,
for those who want to write.
Yeah.
And she's kind of coming out of her shell. Chimamanda used to be the person who would just write or say something profound and then disappear. You know, you wouldn't see her, you wouldn't hear from her. But just last month, she gave a speech on International Women's Day at Amazon's headquarters. She's going to get an honorary degree from Duke University next month.
And she corrected that French journalist.
No, that was a mix-up. But she's out there. She's actually putting herself out there, and it's good to know. She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
And I love that she's promoting everything that she believes in and who she really is.
Exactly, yes. And Nigerian fashion as well.
She's always pushing Nigerian fashion
forward. Because even to the Amazon headquarters,
she wore a Nigerian designer. She's always seen in Nigerian pieces, which is amazing because she can obviously afford to wear all the latest designers and everything that's fresh off the runway from New York and Paris, but she decides to wear what's available in Nigeria. She doesn't live here, so I always wonder how does she even get these pieces across, which is also tasking. So it's amazing that she's really pushing the narrative of made in Nigeria.
Yes, she is. And Derele Edun, Nigerian TV host and VJ, known for his vivacious personality, has caught the attention of GQ France. Sharing the photos of his editorial shoot of the magazine's latest issue on his Instagram handle, his caption read, "So, GQ France, yes, the one and only at GQ France, found me editorial worthy in their recent issue. Raging soft in all my androgyny, I became a nasty boy in the city of bad boys." His fashion forwardness is clearly paying off right now.
Yeah, and don't you just love that he's always stood out and he's always been okay with that? Like he stands out. Obviously, his style is very out there.
Yeah.
But he's very comfortable in his own skin and his own fashion because Derele wears hair.
Derele wears hair. He wears lashes. He wears makeup. He wears makeup. And he
owns it.
Exactly, he's true to himself. So
and that's
GQ
what got him in GQ France.
Exactly. So. That's more than many can say.
Exactly. So we are heading on our short break here now, but don't go anywhere. When we return, Nena and Yuga will be here with a review on what's trending around the world. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Joining us now is our in-house analyst, Nena and Hugo, with the stories trending around the world. Hi, Nena.
Hi, Nena.
Great to have you back from all the Arise fashion
Yes, all the activity. I saw your picture with Tiny Temper. How was it talking to him?
Amazing. He knows exactly what he's doing. You know, not only is he a musician, but, you know, getting into designing. I think it's awesome. I think a lot of people should take notice that, you know, you don't feel like you have to marginalize yourself into one specific thing, you know.
Right.
Always feel the need to expand you know, as you deem it appropriate. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually rocking his brand this morning. This is actually Tiny Tempers, what we wear, and they showcased these pieces on the runway at Fashion Week, Rise Fashion Week. Yeah, so
I see he has a number on there.
Yeah, he has a number. I wonder if it works.
Let's call it up and see what's
asking me, does this actually work? I'm like, you guys, you should try it. Cool, but jollof rice in Lagos, obviously, we have nice jollof rice.
Okay, what's trending?
What's going on? Okay, well, a woman shot and wounded 3 people at YouTube's headquarters in Northern California before killing herself. The suspect has been identified as Nassim Agdam. The U.S. media is reporting that the incident is a domestic dispute. CBS News reported that a 36-year-old man left in critical condition, while 2 women, 32 and 27, were also shot. Police are still investigating the motive behind the shooting. Currently, there's no evidence yet that the 39-year-old suspect knew the victims. YouTube chief Susan Wojcicki took to Twitter to express her horror at the events. She said, quote, "There are no words to describe how horrible it was to have an active shooter at YouTube today. Our deepest gratitude to law enforcement and first responders for their rapid response. Our hearts go out to all those injured and impacted today. We will come together to heal as a family," end of quote.
That's really sad. That's really
It's very, very sad. And like all these like, you know, shootings, you know, go from school, now it's going to a corporate office. And it's like,
you
know, what are the steps that need to be taken now, you know?
So I think the same thing, I know that, I feel like security in offices, in certain offices, is not really heightened because it's just work, you know.
Well, sometimes
there's a lot of security, though, in places
usually
like that. You usually have to go, sometimes
metal detectors.
Sometimes you actually have to carry your ID, like passport or driving license.
So it's just that. It's just that. It's just, okay, you have your ID, walk through. But do they have things like metal detectors? Are they checking, okay, what do you have? I know in certain schools now you have to have transparent backpacks. You can't have like black backpacks. So maybe they need to, I don't know, introduce this to workplaces. If this is going to, hopefully it doesn't become a norm, but if stuff like this has happened in schools and they've taken certain measures, maybe they should be taking those measures in certain corporate offices,
especially on site.
Like
this wasn't this wasn't inside the building, right? This was on
I think it was on the ground.
premises. It wasn't inside the actual building. So maybe there needs to be more restrictions on the actual
coming into
the
campus.
Yeah, on the campus, as opposed to just inside the building, because you can actually walk on most premises. It's security guard after maybe 10 minutes of wandering might ask you what you're looking for, but maybe there needs to be a bit more security.
And this also puts a lot of pressure on the lawmakers.
Yeah,
like
gun laws. Yeah,
exactly. Like now it's at schools again. You know, we said it's in corporate buildings now, so it's like what's next? Everybody's looking at these lawmakers like, what are we gonna do? You know?
And we also have to talk about the work environment. We also have to talk about the kinds of tasks and how long people work. You know, there's so much. A lot of people are doing overtime. So was this woman depressed? Did she have mental health issues? It goes back to the topics of mental health issues in the workplace. When you see your coworker being funny, like what do you do? What steps can you take? Who do you call if somebody is acting different? You know, so
Does
like
she work
mental health.
I don't know if she worked at YouTube. That's funny you said that. And but speaking of YouTube in general, like now the people in the office are going to be grieving. You know, they've had their colleagues have been shot at. So it's like now you're going to have to. Those type of things are going to be like seen more within the workplace. Like how?
If not,
I mean, as far as like seeing what's going on, how are you feeling since this incident? Because it's going to shake people up. People might be scared to even go to work.
Yeah, they might be a bit paranoid themselves.
So we'll see what else happens. Well, in more news, supermodel Naomi Campbell has never shied away from using her voice and her platform to champion the causes of Black people, be it speaking out against police brutality and racism within the fashion industry, or simply calling out an all-white masthead. When she sees one, Campbell, who was visiting Lagos for our latest edition of Arise Fashion Week, stated there is a need for better representation of the continent. Quote, there should be a Vogue Africa, she told Reuters in an interview. We just had Vogue Arabia as the next progression, it has to be, she said, referring to the edition of a magazine aimed at readership in the Middle East that launched last year.
Yeah, so
Vogue Africa, that's been trending since she said that. Everyone's talking about it.
During her interview with Lola.
And that's something that should have been done years ago.
I mean,
it's not now that we should be championing a Vogue Africa, because there's so much, as you can see, there's been such a spotlight on African fashion for. We've had Oswald Boateng for how long? We've had Makio. So why have we not had our own Vogue Africa to showcase these people? Because the continent is so big. We have so many designers. South Africa alone has so much, it carries a lot of weight. Nigeria has a lot of weight. Ghana, they have a lot of designers. So why is this not happening? Because these people have been showing at New York Fashion Week.
Exactly. I think it's interesting because it's like we have our own, local magazines. Yes. I would say like Chic magazine that are,
we have TW, we have Genevieve.
Exactly.
We have all this.
But you know what? I think a Vogue Africa will more so heighten those magazines as well, because it's like more of a spotlight. Like, let's be realistic. More people are reading Vogue, Vogue magazines than they are Chic magazine. Because of the distribution.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the distribution and because of the market. And we're talking about Oswald. For me, I feel like because a lot of how many African designers, and I'll speak for Nigeria, how many have been represented on a global stage? So Oswald lives in England. Makio lives in New York. All these people are not based in Africa. So maybe they don't see reason. If all these people were based here and were going from here to the world, then maybe the spotlight will be on Africa. But right now, these are people living on other continents, even in other countries.
Here. So the thing is, so for example, Makio, when you talk about her line, if she wants to tell you what her line is about, she refers to the Nigerian story. She'll tell you something about maybe, like her last collection was about, I don't know, I think it was to do with women, like Nigerian women and things like that. They're talking about African stories. So therefore, they should also be represented in the African Vogue. Not just, but they're only spotlighted because they're able to travel out of Nigeria to be on that international platform. Whereas if they were just here, you wouldn't be calling them, they live in another country. Because there's loads of designers here that live here, like Zara. There's loads of them that have been featured in Vogue Italia. All of these designers, they are featured in international magazines. So why do they not have their own?
Even more so, like the content, like you said itself, like we've seen covers of like, what is it, Kendall Jenner on like Vogue Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
She's not from Japan, but she's on the covers. So I think it's, like you said, it doesn't matter where you are. It's derivative of
I feel like it's what we are doing with our fashion from here. How are we pushing that fashion out?
This push is only because starting. Vogue is an international. It's the biggest fashion magazine on the planet. So that's why we need our own.
Have we done enough?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Have we pushed our brand enough from here to the global stage?
Yes, we have.
We have. How many Nigerian brands have been
look at Black Panther. Oswald Boateng was the costume designer for Black Panther, which is a
lives in England.
But it doesn't matter. He's African,
but he came to Rise Fashion Week in Lagos.
He would want to be on British Vogue.
That's fine. But he should still be allowed on Africa.
We're going to agree
he should still be allowed to be on Vogue Africa.
We're going to agree to disagree. I don't feel like we've pushed ourselves enough to get our. Maybe South Africans.
It didn't collect.
It's only because they have that. The structure is there in South Africa. There's more of a structure for these things. That's what they have. SAL, Elle magazine. They have Cosmopolitan. They have so many international Essence. They have so many magazines in South Africa. Yes. So that's why we need one for Africa, not just Nigeria. Not Vogue. We're not saying Vogue Nigeria, but there should be Vogue South Africa, Vogue Africa. We do deserve it. We've been pushing this narrative for a long time.
Agreed. And I'm curious to see what happens. Like, we were talking about Lagos being the fashion capital of Africa. I'm curious to see if that will become more of a structured thing. But this is a hot button issue. We'll continue this conversation a little later. In more news, Britain's gender pay gap is a burning injustice which must be tackled, as the whole of society will remain poor if outdated employment practices go unchallenged, the Prime Minister warned yesterday. The Prime Minister's article comes ahead of today's deadline for larger firms to disclose the average pay gap between male and female workers. On average, the median hourly gap is 18%, although some firms, including Goldman Sachs, Ryanair, and clothing retailers Phase 8 have disclosed figures of more than 50%. Only a handful of companies, including Unilever and Evans Cycles, have gender pay gaps which favor women. Mrs. May says there is a clear economic imperative in closing the gender pay gap. She says that if women and men enjoyed parity in their hours, pay, and seniority, we would see up to £150 billion added to Britain's GDP.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
Why is there even a gender gap? Like, why is there even like a pay gap in gender? Like, how is it even a thing? Like, we went to the same schools. We graduated from the same classes. We probably graduated with the same I almost said GPs. Like, you know, why is there even a gap in salary? Like, why do you look at me like as a woman and then think I deserve to earn less than a man? I don't understand.
I think it goes back to gender roles. How it was, you know, I think it goes back to gender roles. Unfortunately, they were like, women deserve to be in the kitchen cooking and men will go out for pay. And during that, they didn't see, at least in the States, they didn't see it necessary for women to go to school if they're just going to be cooking and cleaning and tending to children. It made sense for men to go to school, to work and get higher pay.
That changed years ago.
No, it didn't really. But I mean, what we should be discussing really is the fact that the Prime Minister has taken it upon herself to actually work actively at closing this gender pay gap, because that's what's really important. We can discuss what the why.
The Prime Minister is a woman, so I'm sure she's really passionate.
Yeah, of course, and that's why we need more women. We need more women as presidents and prime ministers. Exactly. And it will be interesting to see the difference in some of these companies and the way they pay women and men. That's one to look out for.
I mean, it's putting a lot, putting a lot of pressure on these people to put these agendas forward, because it's like there's no, again, people are realizing that once I say something, action will be taken. Yeah. It's no longer that, I'm going to hide and not saying anything anymore.
People are actually taking a stand.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Nana.
Thanks, Nana.
It's time now for a short break on the morning show. Naomi Campbell's meet up with the Dreamcatchers dance group will be coming up right after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. So last week, we had the Dreamcatchers dance group here in the studio with us, and they had said one of their dreams was to meet Naomi Campbell. Remember, she had posted a video of them dancing a few weeks ago, saying she'll be coming to Nigeria soon. Well, that meeting happened, and the kids were super excited. Let's take a look.
Okay, who's that? Start first. Tell me your name.
My name is
T-Bus. How old are you? You're 12. How old are you?
Hi, I'm Shay. I'm
You're the mama. Yeah. Oh, bless you. Bless you. What's your name?
Shola.
Shola. Danny? Ethan. Ethan. So I've been dying to meet you. I can't believe I'm meeting you. Shall I follow you in?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow you in. Okay. Hi. How are you? First of all, you make me emotional, but I'm not in a good way.
I want to say thank you very much for, and it was just the beginning of better things for us, because I tell these kids that they can become great, but there are days where I didn't even believe myself anymore. I was just telling them, but we're just very glad for what's happening, and we're glad for this opportunity. You're using your light and you're shining it on them. The Hall of Power stands for pictures of people that we think that they have gone through different struggles, but they're able to make it out. And we do this every month just to let the kids know that even though they have different backgrounds, they can actually become something good.
Hello, my name is Titi D. How Naomi, Auntie Naomi Campbell's story can relate to my story is when Nelson Mandela took Auntie Naomi Campbell as his granddaughter. Auntie Naomi Campbell didn't say that, thank God I've seen somebody behind me. I've seen somebody behind me. I've seen somebody.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Here. Take a deep breath and then start again, okay?
She was going to whatever it was, and I helped her, and she didn't take the opportunity for granted, and she's doing everything she can to make me proud. Just how you've made Nelson Mandela proud of you. That's what she was supposed to say.
Oh. You did really good.
On behalf of the family of the Dreamcatchers family, one of us drew this picture.
You drew that?
Oh, wow. Wow. One of us drew this picture of it. Thank you for supporting and recognizing the talent that our auntie has given us, because we have been dancing for the past 4 years and we didn't expect this type of appearance at this point in time. We have had so many people that have promised us but have failed to fulfill our promise, but you are here and you have fulfilled your promise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You're so cute. I can't draw, so I'm very impressed. I'm terrible. Never was good at art. Very. Thank you.
To present this t-shirt to you, ma'am, to welcome you to our family. Our auntie told us that you reposted our video and we were happy. Some of us were even crying. So I wanted to take this t-shirt on our behalf to help us to wear it so that it can relate to our family. You told us that we're a dancing queen, so I want you to wear this t-shirt to become dancing queen like us.
Thank you. I'll wear it. Want me to put it now? Want me to put it? Yeah? Okay. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
We also want to give you this. We all make it by ourselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm not going to take it off. You put it this way, yeah. No, I used to dance, but not like you. I used to study ballet when I was 3 years old. So you know today's Easter, but I couldn't find any eggs here, so we just got you chocolate, but no eggs, I'm afraid, amongst other things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I can't. What's that? What are you doing? What is that?
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it?
Culture.
Is that the culture?
Yes.
Oh wow! So we look like a plank.
No.
Look like a plank I do in the gym.
No. The guy is prostrate. Down is like
The girls, the guys are
down.
straight. The girls
And
kneel.
down, yeah.
How very elegant. Like that, so chic. So, you're gonna show me around.
Sure.
I want to see where you sleep. We don't need Jane anymore. We got you. Yes. So tell me, how does their day start? They go to school where?
The school dog. So
Not far away?
yes.
Everyone in the same school or goes to different ones?
Different schools. This is the room for the girls. Because it's not very airy in here.
Girls, we could make it a little tidier. We could make it a little tidier. You don't want me to be your house mistress. I'm very strict and bossy. Girls have to be extra tidy. Very nice. Oh, superheroes. Black Panther's not there.
Well, I just get lucky sometimes finding.
We gotta get you Black Panther.
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you, Ma.
We gotta find Black Panther.
Thank you.
I am a king, and it's my responsibility to treat everyone with respect and kindness. I try to be the best version of myself. Nobody owes me anything. I owe myself success, love, and kindness. My job is not to make myself like Campbell. My job is to be my full self. A self that is honest and is aware of becoming master of others. So help me God. Amen.
Amen. I want a copy of that prayer. Can I get a copy?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? It's beautiful. right. Huh? So this has become your prop.
Yeah.
This is your prop of that you use to dance and make it your background like your stage, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
It's fantastic. Don't be sad. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay? Oh, don't be sad. Come. Why are you sad? Why are you sad? Don't be sad. Okay?
We'll see you tomorrow.
You're going to see me tomorrow. Bye. Bye. See you tomorrow. Okay? Bye. You taught me a lot today. Bye. Bye. Bye, my shame.
That was very emotional for all of us here in the studio. We hope you enjoyed that piece with Naomi Campbell, spreading love to the Dreamcatchers dancers. And it was just so amazing to see Naomi Campbell in that, in her element on the catwalk. But when she's doing her catwalk, but to see her doing philanthropy with these kids that she's wanted to see for such a long time since posting them. It's amazing to see her and the joy that it brings her, and brought all of us in the studio. We hope it brought that to you as well.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. And it was just good seeing the dream of, one of the dreams of the Dreamcatchers actually coming to life. And I like their vision board. It had Oprah, it had Naomi. Well, Mandela's gone, so... But it just shows that if you wish it, it can come to pass.
And also, it's nice. I love the things that they're teaching them. Nobody owes you anything.
Nobody owes you anything.
So there's no sense of entitlement as well.
That stood out.
So that's really good, and that will take them really far. Well, it's time for us to go on a short break now. But when we get back, we will be giving you a recap on all the magic from Arise Fashion Week 2018. Stay with us. This is The Morning Show. Welcome back to The Morning Show here on Arise News. We just wrapped up what was arguably the best fashion week in Nigeria. Arise Fashion Week 2018 took over the Easter weekend in Lagos, Nigeria, and the designers came out with designs as beautiful as the runway. Gracing the catwalk were supermodels Naomi Campbell, Oluchi, Orji Okpe, and Imam, amongst others. Here's a recap on some of the designers that brought their A-game on the days 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with day one. Day one ruled the runway with colour, bold statements, and embellishment. Let's take a look at what Fashpa had coming down the runway.
Okay, so
these are some very feminine pieces. You can see a lot of skirts, a lot of knee-length skirts.
Yes, and I like the fabric. That's silk.
The fabric is very rich, and I have these colours as well. These colours are amazing. I really did enjoy Fash Pa's collection.
Fash Pa's collection was actually beautiful, and that's followed by Abaya, who was our favourite of the day. For those of you who missed it, here's a look at how they slayed the day.
This is definitely one of our favourites from the day.
Because they're all covered up. They're all covered up, but they still look so sexy.
Yeah, so beautiful and so elegant and so classy. But yet nothing is lost. And I love that her pieces are very fluid. These are very fluid pieces that you can wear anywhere in Lagos, in Nigeria.
Yeah.
When you're traveling around. Look at these colours as well.
Exactly, the colours, the fabric.
They really do complement black skin.
And they have an Arabian thing to them. They have like an Arabian theme.
Yeah, I could see you in Dubai with some of these pieces on. Now, we had fashion enthusiasts from around the world come and be a part of Arise Fashion Week 2018. Our very own Swanky Jerry was there to catch all the fun. This image was captured by Fashion Bomb Africa, and it shows Swanky in an Arabian-inspired ensemble from 1407. He accompanied his outfit with a Gucci bag from Polo Avenue Men, alongside tasseled sandals from 313 Echo Shoes.
And you know the influencers and the celebrities were not there to play. Like a lot of them wore like gorgeous pieces. Some off the runway. I know you wore Style Temple.
Yeah, straight off the runway. At the runway.
At the runway.
And you in Ilare.
Exactly. Yeah. So the influencers there were just gorgeous as well. And if you thought day one was hot, well, day two was a sizzling. Here's a look at New York designer Washington Roberts' collection.
I love him.
And closing out the day for day two, apologies for that, we'll get that to you. But the one and only Oswald Boateng was there as well, and his collection was stunning. And let's take a look at that collection. Beautiful. And it's good to see women wearing his pieces as well. Like it's the same. His things are androgynous, I would say. Like some of those jackets, you can rock them.
And and look at Naomi.
Exactly.
Yeah, look how it's the way you pull it off. You really do have to know how to pull it off.
And that's his daughter beside him. This is her first time walking on a runway show ever.
She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
Oh, Naomi ripped this runway.
Yeah,
she ripped the runway.
Beautiful.
Well. We have so much more in store from Arise Fashion Week 2018 because it was truly a convergence of Africans, not just here on the continent, but throughout the diaspora coming together. Influencers, celebrities, and A-listers were in attendance from all around the world. The likes of Tiny Temper, musician and designer of What We Wear, showed us his collection on day 2 of Arise Fashion Week. You can also see here GQ star editor Mobolaji Dawodu. Here, oh my gosh, these guys look way too hot.
Look good. And it was so much fun seeing them here. Well, next up on day 3, we have a crowd favorite, Mufa. Here's what came down the runway. So this was, the theme for this collection was Ibadan meets London. And I think she killed it.
Yeah, she did.
I think she killed it. I saw her backstage and she seemed very excited about this collection.
Yeah, these are very extravagant.
Yes, they
eccentric pieces. Yeah, that you could definitely rock these, mix and match with other pieces.
I think she killed it. Well, we'll have more of these designs and, of course, the models for you tomorrow. And that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you so much for watching from the entire morning show team here in Lagos. All that's left to say is enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day.
Goodbye.